Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 2 of the King's Game podcast. I am your host, King Narakami. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 2. We're going to keep this thing rolling. Right now, it is March 11th, 2021. By the time you're hearing this, it's going to be March 14th, which means it's that much closer to the SMT concert that's coming up on the 20th, I think it is. Can't remember the exact date, but it's coming up soon. And today we're going to be talking about a little Shin Megami Tensei here and beyond, and what's coming in 2021. First, let me introduce my guests right quick. You may know my first guest from YouTube, Twitter, Baal Zakaraga. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well as well.
Man, it's good.
SMT 5 2021.
No. We're not beginning the podcast like that, Baal. I knew you'd do some shit like that.
I'm just spreading the truth.
Bro, no, we gonna spread the truth by the end of this podcast, and we're gonna say SMT 2022. I will convince y'all before the end of this show that's coming next year. Shout out to David because he knows it in his heart too. That's coming next year. And also, my second guest, you may know him. He is a fellow content creator as well. Katana Rikku, how you doing, man?
Yo, what's up? Thank you for inviting me to this podcast. I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing pretty good. PS5 hunting, playing some SMT games, and also SMT5 2021. Sorry.
Speaking of PS5 hunting, during this podcast, I was going to talk a little bit about next gen, but let's go in. Since you say you were PS5 hunting, have either of you been successful in securing a PS5? I know Rikku said he wasn't, but Bao, you?
I have not. I tried back when they first came out, but pretty much same story as Rikku. So I'm pretty much going to give up hope until there's like a must-play game for me, or until they put them in stores.
I completely understand, and I don't think it's going to be available till I think they're having trouble with their like supplies and stuff for it right now. I heard it might not be 2022 till you can physically see it in stores. I don't know about y'all, but that's a little bit of a bummer considering the hype behind the system.
Yeah, it really is. Like I've
Yeah, I
never seen a
agree.
console this hard to get. Like even the Wii, that was hard to get, but not this hard.
Well, we were able to just go into a store even when the Wii just came out, and my sister bought one like almost day one, no problem whatsoever. So I feel like this is like one of the hardest consoles to get in like all of console releases. I was able to find a PS4 years ago when it first released as well around Thanksgiving time. I got permission from my parents to get it as a Christmas gift, and so I rushed into Target and found it pretty easily. But now it's like you can't even go into a store and find it anymore. And when you find one online, you can add it to your cart, but it gets deleted. So I know y'all been having that problem lately as well.
Yep, it just got ripped out of my cart in Target this morning, so
Oh,
very sad.
oh man, that sucks so much. Anyways, enough about the PS5 right quick, guys. Let's just go ahead and get into today's topics. Our topics today include, of course, Shin Megami Tensei. We're going to be talking a lot about that. We're going to be talking about the new Nintendo Switch that was just announced by Bloomberg the other day. And we're going to briefly touch on Persona's 25th anniversary at the end of the show. But thank you all again for joining me, and let's just dive right into it. So, I would say that 2020 was a relatively slow year for Shin Megami Tensei, except for in June when Nocturne remastered and a new SMT5 trailer was unveiled during the direct. I think we could say that the Nocturne remaster announcement came out of nowhere. Wouldn't you say that, guys?
Oh, definitely. That blew my mind when we saw that. Like, I have reaction video of it with me and my friend. Like, the entire direct was a snore fest until we saw SMT footage, and then we just came to life. It was,
Yeah, I agree. It was really boring. It had like wrestling games and all that stuff, and I honestly didn't expect it. It was like the last thing on the back of my mind. And yeah, when I saw it, I was jumping, bro. I wish I had recorded my reaction. I really wish I did. I just didn't expect it.
So here we are today. The trailer debuted last year in July of 2020 for Nocturne. Here we are in March of 2021, and Atlas still has not really said much about Nocturne Remastered coming to the way. We know it's coming. We know it's coming. It's slated for a release spring 2021. But I want to get your guys' opinion on it. What do you think's taken so long for this game to release?
good question. Obviously, COVID's a thing,
Right.
so that's slowing things up to some degree. Other than that, maybe they want to. Well, maybe Atlas West really wants them to fix all the issues with the Japanese version first before they bring it over here.
Right, and that's a whole another issue in and of itself. What about you, Riku? What do you think's taking so long for this game to be released over here?
I just assume it's like the usual Japan gets it first. I mean, that's obviously what's going on, but I mean, it could be like translation or something. I'm not sure because this is a port of a PS2 game. I know it has English voice acting, but like it's a weird situation. I'm not. It's I need to ask Atlas. Let me call him up real quick.
We know you got them on the line right now, bro. You got that connection. You need to ask them.
Absolutely.
You need to ask the man themselves, bro. What's taking so long?
Yeah.
I mean, at least it's not like it's getting the strikers treatment right now, where it takes almost an entire, basically a year for it to release. Because we know it's coming spring of this year. I think we can all agree on that. It's coming soon, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not one of those things of they're too scared to release it. It's not. I don't think there needs to be a lot of work done to this game. Honestly, I've even heard from Spencer that it's completely done and Atlas is just sitting on it right now. But I want to get y'all's opinion on it. If it's going to come anytime soon in the spring, do you think we're going to get a reveal of it soon? I know that there was an ESRB rating recently this past Monday, and I wanted to get y'all's opinion on it. Do you think we're going to get a reveal for the release date soon, or how do you guys feel about that?
I think it could show up at like any point, but just because it got rated, and since it seems like Nintendo has a big part of like the marketing, I guess it could be just like it wouldn't be a direct because a direct just happened, but I could definitely see like Atlas dropping a video, or it would be at that thing that's happening on the 20th this month, and that's really soon. So I could definitely see it happening like any time now, a reveal,
What about
or not a
you,
reveal, an update or something.
the
Good,
release
sorry.
date reveal or whatever that you want to
Yeah.
say? Yeah. What about you, Bal?
Well, usually when things get a ESRB rating, then yeah, they are coming out very soon. As for how they'll do it, I hope Atlas will make a bit of fanfare about this because I want the game to sell well, especially since I know a lot of people personally. This is going to be their first SMT game, but I can also just see them dropping it on their Twitter page, like, "Oh, SMT Nocturne coming this date," and that's it. But I hope they do a little bit of marketing for this.
Now, Bal, you just mentioned something about if the game's going to sell well, and that was actually one of the topics I wanted to touch on when it comes to Nocturne Remastered. Do you think the game will sell well? What do you guys think is a fair price point for the game? Will it not sell well if it's $60 release? I want y'all's opinions on that.
I think with something like Nocturne that has a reputation for being hard, one, they need to advertise the fact that there are difficulty options now for those that are just scared of that. Um, I think this game really does have the potential to sell well, but it needs one, word of mouth, because that's just the way games like this can spread in the current age, and two, at least some type of advertising. Like SMT, as much as it's growing in popularity with Persona, and I guess SMT4 as well, and now SMT5, I still could see this game not flopping, but not really meeting sales expectations if they don't play their cards right.
Riku, any thoughts?
Yeah. So I think it has a good chance of selling like Val said, like pretty okay to be honest. But that's also due to the fact that it's on both the PS4 and the Nintendo Switch, and we all know Persona 5 sold crazy on the PS4. So I think a good amount of those people, well, some people are going to be interested in the main series at this point. People know that what it is and stuff like that, and it's on both consoles, so I think it has a chance, definitely.
Right. So let's talk about price point for the game. And do you guys think if
Yeah.
they slap a... I know personally, I have my own opinion about this. What do you think is just the right sweet point for them to, a price on this game? I know if they slap 60, I think we can all agree that it's not going to sell that well, in my opinion. But I want to get you guys' opinion on that as well.
Yeah, I think 60 is way too high for this game. I think around like 30 to 40 would be great. If they sell it for 60, it's kind of putting it on the same level like financially as like SMT5, a brand new game compared to the old PS2 remaster. I think they should definitely go like how they did Persona 4 Golden, on Steam is like $20 or something. So like anybody, it's not like a huge investment if somebody doesn't like the game, they want to take a chance on it. 20 is a lot easier to jump into instead of 60 for a game like that.
Your thoughts, Pal?
Um, while we were talking just now, I was actually looking up the price in Japan out of curiosity, and I think this would be a good price here too. From what I can tell, they sold it for $40 over there, and I think that's a good point.
Right.
For a sell over here. I think knowing Atlas, realistically, yes, it would be 40.
But
If this was any other company, I would say they could even drop it lower, especially if they're adding voice acting.
But here's the thing, though. Catherine Full Body, $50 when it released on Switch, and it already had released 2 or 3 times before that.
Yeah, this is true.
So that's what I'm.
Well, do you think the Switch version will be more expensive than the PS4 version?
I
think they would cost the same.
Yeah, I don't really see them going up price. Up like I don't see the PS4 version being 40 and the Switch version being 50. Honestly, they're gonna stick with one price point. I would feel like.
Yeah, I think I'll say 40.
Now,
I would gladly pay 40 for that game. Just me personally, I'd be okay with that.
Now, what about 50? Do you think that would cause some issues?
I think it would for a lot of people. Just a reaction I see from people about other games and their remasters or remakes selling for that price and how they think it's gross. Yeah, definitely people wouldn't like that.
So we're all in agreement. In a perfect world, it would be 30. Realistically, 40. But in a terrible world, 50 or 60.
Yeah.
All right. I really hope that they don't go the Catherine Full Body route and switch with this game, but you never know. It is Atlas. They're hard to predict sometimes. But Rikku mentioned something about Persona 4 Golden a few minutes ago when we were talking, and it got me thinking. Persona 4 Golden got a Steam release last year. What's interesting about Nocturne and Steam release is that the other day when Nocturne Remaster got ESRB rating, it mentioned the PS4 and the Switch version, but it didn't mention a Steam version. And the Steam version has been heavily rumored. There has been Steam code found in the game itself, and it wasn't on the ESRB rating. What do you guys think that means? Are we not getting it on Steam? Do you see it being announced later, or do you see it being announced when the release date for the Western version is revealed?
I think this will probably be one of those scenarios where the PC version comes later that we've seen for other RPGs lately. I would like it to be day one because I would probably pick it up on Steam, but yeah, probably later.
Yeah, I think it's either later because it's definitely later because it's definitely going to be. It's not going to be like it's not coming because Atlas just had that sort of that big brain moment when I realized, hey, PC gaming for our games is actually good, which is like Persona 5 Strikers and Catherine, the original version, as well as Persona 4 Golden. So I don't think they would go back on that. If it's not being advertised, it's probably just because it's coming later, like Val said.
It still blows my mind to this day that it's taken them this long to realize, hey, our games are selling on other platforms, and when we put them on it, why don't we do this more often? It shocks me that it took till 2020 to get a mainline Persona game on a different system other than PlayStation, to me personally. But the fact that it takes them this long to realize it, and now that they've done it, I really don't see this game releasing at a later date on Steam. I expected day one, like Strikers, for Steam, as well as PS4 and Switch. What do you guys think?
Maybe it's like a trailer they drop later on or something. Like just to clarify, yes, it is coming to PC day and date with the rest.
So anyways, we're going to move on right quick now that I don't want to go on a whole Atlas rant. I don't want this we could rant about Atlas and them not putting their games on other consoles till, for hours and hours, but I feel like we need to keep on topic right here. When the game does eventually release here, hopefully soon in the West, I know that there's been a lot of issues with Nocturne Remastered release in Japan. There's been some patches released for it, performance issues. It's a PS2 game running on Unity that isn't performing too well on current generation systems. Do you guys think the game will be fixed by the time it gets here to the West? Do you think they're going to add all that stuff and maybe some more stuff to it? I want to get your guys' opinion on that.
I think it'll be the same as like the most up-to-date Japanese version. So like whatever like performance issues, I think we're gonna have those. If they do, if it does improve, I think it'll be like in a patch after it launches or something.
Bao, what are your thoughts?
Um, Pretty much agree with what Rikku said. I think it will be whatever the current whatever the current state of the Japanese version is. I haven't checked recently, but last I checked, they had fixed some issues with the game, like the crashing on the Switch and all that. So that's good. But I don't expect the game to be 100% flawless when it comes over here.
Oh no, I think they've proven that the game's not 100% flawless. I know David has said a few times that the game has been patched and fixed for the most part in Japan, but it's still not perfect. You can still have some frame rate issues in battle, which shocks the hell out of me because this is a turn-based PS2 game. It shouldn't, even on Switch's hardware, it shouldn't be chugging in my opinion. But I really do think the problems hopefully will be fixed by the time it gets over here. Things that won't be fixed, of course, the 4:3 aspect ratio on the videos where you see black bars on the side of the screen. And
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, that's not going to be fixed. That would be too much work for Atlas just to change a little bit of code and get those scenes set. It doesn't have to be 1080p. Just make it full screen, because to me, when you see when you go to full screen gameplay, to see black bars on the side 4:3 aspect ratio during cutscene, I don't know about you guys, but to me it takes me out of the immersion of the game.
I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah. You got this whole full screen, beautiful 50-inch screen or whatever, and it's taking up the entirety of it. And then you got the 4:3, and it's like we're back in like 2004. So.
Which, there's nothing wrong with being back in 2004, but when you go from these HD graphic, I mean, I'm not going to say that they're beautiful or anything. We've all seen the gameplay for Nocturne Remastered. It's not what you exactly call, a stunning game. But at the same time, it's like you go from these 1080p, graphics to just 360p, 4:3 aspect ratio cutscenes. To me, it takes you out of the immersion completely. Does that do?
Yeah.
Do you have the same thought process, Bao?
I'm one of those people that are sort of the exception to where aspect ratio doesn't bother me, but I know it bothers a lot of people. So for me personally, it doesn't ruin my immersion at all.
Well,
But I would still want it to be fixed for those that it is a big deal for.
so I'm going to go on a nerdy rant here for a second. You said you're not bothered by aspect ratio. I'm not either, to an extent. I can watch a 4:3 anime, an older anime, all day long. As long as it looks crisp on my screen and everything. I don't care if there's black bars. If it looks good, I don't care. But when you have that full screen and then you switch to the 4:3, it's kind of jarring to me. That's like if when Naruto Shippuden went from 4:3 to 1080p or 720p. That was really jarring to me, because one episode you're seeing black bars on the screen, the next, oh my god, it's full screen. It looks so much better now. What the hell happened? They really stepped up their production.
Understandable.
But
Yep, I agree.
But one more thing I want to touch on before we get to our next topic. One more thing about Nocturne. What system are you guys going to buy the game for?
Okay, so I'm still conflicted. By the time this game comes, well, hopefully by the time this game comes out, I'll have a PS5. But I played SMT. Well, I can only play SMT4 on my 3DS, so I almost wanted to just play Nocturne on my Switch, just because I like the portable thing and all that. It doesn't really. It's pretty cool, but I'm still undecided. I'm thinking I'm gonna go with the Switch though, honestly. But then I like the PS5, but it doesn't have like any massive improvements on the PS5. I don't think. I think it's basically the same as like the PS4 version. So
It is
I don't know.
literally
I'm conflicted.
It is literally the exact same as the PS4 version. No fixes in the frame rate or anything. It runs the exact same.
Yeah, so if that's the case and both have like kind of, performance issues, I think I just get the Switch version so I can just play it whenever, just like I did SMT4. That was a lot of fun.
Val, what do you think?
I'm going to go Switch just for portability. I like playing my RPGs usually portable. Unless it's like something really, really visually striking, like a modern Final Fantasy game, I prefer to go digital. I mean,
like-
not digital. I said digital. I said
No,
port.
I got you,
Portable.
man. Yeah, we got what you meant, man.
Yeah.
We got what you meant. I like what Rikku said about, 4 was on a Nintendo system, 5's going to be on Switch. To me, it's almost a no-brainer. It wouldn't make sense to... I'll probably get it on 4, but leave it... the PlayStation 4, but leave it sealed. I'm mostly going to be playing on the Switch version since SMT 5 is coming to Switch. And
I was thinking of doing that as well.
yeah, exactly. And speaking of SMT 5, let's get into this conversation right here. We're going to go with the main event in the middle of the podcast right quick. We're going to talk some SMT 5 right quick, and I'm going to convince y'all that's coming in 2022 next year instead of 2021. So let's just go
Good
ahead.
luck.
Bro, it's about to happen. So SMT 5 trailer drops also during the Direct last year. We all had our minds blown. This is the first time it was acknowledged in how many years? Was it 2 years?
I think it's around
4.
3 almost. 3 or 4, yeah.
3 years. And ever since then, complete silence ever since the last trailer at the Nintendo Direct. I want to get your guys' opinion. Why is Atlas being so quiet about this title?
I truly, truly wish I knew. Like, I just want to see gameplay. That's all I want. At this point, I'll take a screenshot. I just want to know how the game looks. Like, that's all I want. After that, okay, take your time.
I don't know why it's taken so long, but like this was like, it was announced in 2017 alongside like all the other Switch games, and this is the only one that hasn't come yet. And it's like, why has it got to be this game? That's got to be the big mystery. Because like, yeah, it's just like Val said, like I want to see what it looks like. I'm almost like I'm dying to see what the game looks like at this point. Like, bruh, like come on. But why they're being so quiet on it? I mean, maybe they just want to have a big blowout one day on the 20th, maybe.
To me, it's almost like what they did with Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Another game that was, produced by... I won't say it was produced by Nintendo, but Nintendo had financial backing and everything getting it here to the West. You had a SMT Cross Fire Emblem trailer drop. This game's coming soon. Then silence for a long time, and then we had a big blowout trailer that showed something really different than what we were expecting. I love TMS.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it, but we're not here to discuss that. But I feel like that's exactly what they're doing. They don't want to give us tidbits.
You might be onto something there, because for those that don't know, the situation with TMS, when that first trailer dropped, the devs didn't even know they were making the game at that point. They're like, oh, this is what we're doing. So they didn't even have a concept in mind. That's why that trailer was just stock footage of character art.
Oh god.
And if you remember, the SMT5 trailer was just 3D Unity models from like Apocalypse. So there is a good chance that's the same scenario where the game wasn't even being developed at that point, and that was just, oh, this is coming and it hasn't been worked on yet.
So do you guys
I'm
feel
agree.
like
That sounds pretty likely.
So you guys feel like it has Tokyo Mirage Sessions DNA and everything with how they're, planning on releasing it and everything?
Hopefully just the release and not like the clashing of
execution.
ideas. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because they have a pretty solid like they have a pretty solid like well, I don't say concept. It's like a good idea. Like they know what they're doing at this point. Yeah, I don't know.
I know that Nintendo themselves like to remain pretty quiet about upcoming releases until like a Direct. They don't really give out information and everything. It's like a few weeks ago at the latest Direct that we had. Remember when I don't remember the guy's name, but like the creator of Zelda came on screen, and he was like, I bet you were expecting information about the Breath of the Wild sequel. Well, we don't got that yet, but here's a trailer of a game that's coming out soon, out of nowhere. I think Nintendo has proven that they like to, hide this information until it's, ready to go. They don't want us to give us too much information and expect something that's not expected. But that's just my opinion. What do you guys think about that? Is this more Nintendo's doing?
Maybe, because if you remember Breath of the Wild, before that game was released, there was like at least 1 or 2 big delays, and the game was apparently going fine in development, but they just didn't show us much aside that first teaser trailer when they could have. So maybe that is a Nintendo thing, but I don't know how involved Nintendo is in the SMT5 project, so I can't say for sure.
Yeah, I just figured they might possibly publish it or something, or maybe I don't know. It's a mystery, but yeah, big mystery.
Speaking of mysteries, let's talk about the release date for Shin Megami Tensei 5. So, as you all know right now, the game is slated for release later this year, 2021. Yet, we still have yet to receive any information about the game as of this recording on March 11th, 2021. Do you guys still expect the game coming this year? If so, when? And when do you think we'll finally get some information about it?
I am still holding hope that we are getting this game in 2021, and I think it's going to drop. Hmm. See, if this was maybe like January, I would say summer, but now that we're in March, I'm gonna go ahead and say fall or winter.
Yeah, considering that Nocturne still isn't here yet, and it's not it's spring in 9 days, but I think that not Nocturne, I think SMT5 is going to be revealed on March 20th. I'm gonna hold out hope there as well. And I think just to be safe, yeah, either like fall or winter. Yeah, it's definitely not summer at this point. And if it was, I'd be pretty happy, but no, it's definitely not. Especially
Riku,
because Nocturne isn't even out.
Riku, I will give you and David props for being like the only guys on social media right now that believe that SMT5 is going to be at that concert, and I hope you hold on to that belief until it says SMT5 2022 on the trailer.
I'll die inside.
Me,
You know when you like, it's like I'm trying to will it into existence. All right, that's what I'm trying to do at this point.
I'm just really curious though, Riku, and
Yeah.
I don't know if Bao thinks that SMT5 is going to be at this concert later on. But what makes you think? I'm not saying that it's not going to be there. But what makes you think that it's going to be that this information is going to release at the concert?
So the main thing is that 2021 worldwide release. It all starts there. So it's got to happen this year, and a Nintendo Direct just passed, and it wasn't there. And so really my logic here is like if it's not at this event, it's gonna be at the next one. And this happens to be the next one. And it's Atlas. And Atlas West, I think they told us to tune into it. And they know we want the game. And so that's my logic. It's the next event. And I'm just, I might be grasping at straws, but I think it's gotta be there, man. It's gotta be.
I hope so, man. Bao, what do you think? Do you think it's going to information about this game is going to be at the concert?
I didn't know too much about this concert or that people were expecting SMT5 to drop there. But I think if it was going to, they probably, well, if I was in their shoes, I would clarify that, oh, you should really watch this because SMT5 is on the way and you might see something, but you know how game companies can be.
Right.
But as to if I really think it'll be there, I'm going to go ahead and say no.
Ah,
I'd love to be proven wrong, of course, but
Now, I think we will get some game news at the concert, but I don't think it's going to be SMT5. I think we will get a Western release date. Since Atlas West tweeted about the concert, I think we'll get a Western release date for Nocturne, but no SMT5 news. I think we can all definitely expect Nocturne news at the concert. Is that fair?
yeah, I'll be surprised if Nocturne really doesn't show up at that point. Actually, I'll be worried if Nocturne didn't show up at that point.
I think we can all agree if it's not showing up at the concert, it's been delayed somehow, some way.
I'm still gonna say 2021.
Bro, come
Maybe.
on, man. Come on, man.
It depends.
Let me give you my reasoning.
Okay.
People just think that I'm just grasping at straws. I say it just to just to bust everyone's balls on social media. But honestly, I think they shot themselves in the foot with this simultaneous worldwide release, especially after since Strikers took a year to develop because of COVID and everything. To me, you could say this has Nintendo's funding and everything, but at the end of the day, Nintendo's not the one producing this game. It's Atlas. So I really think that with the lack of footage and everything that we've seen, we haven't even seen the first tidbit of gameplay and what to expect of the game. We've only basically just seen the protagonist and some demons. I really don't think that we're going to get this game this year because of the lack of content that we've seen. Now, I know I said earlier that Nintendo likes to, do like huge blowouts of information of games and everything. I'm still holding on to saying that we're not going to get the game until early 2022. Do you think that's a fair assumption?
I think
Actually,
that's, yeah, I think that's fair based on what you said. But do you think if we don't get the game this year, do you think it'll be long before we actually see the game, like anything of it? Because honestly, I would be okay with it coming next year if we get to see like gameplay and I can just watch that for months and months.
Oh yeah, I definitely think we'll see some gameplay this year.
Okay.
If at the very least, I think it would be an absolute travesty if the only thing we got was a trailer, another trailer, and nothing more, no gameplay and everything. I could see them dropping some gameplay if they do have to delay the game, saying, "Hey, we know it's coming this year. There was some unexpected stuff that happened. Here's some gameplay to hold you over. 2022 release. It's coming early 2022."
Okay. I can take that.
I'll actually counteract your point with something, and
Great.
that's Tales of Arise. See, that game is technically in a similar boat to where we haven't really seen much of it in like a year and a half, but they're still staying like they're adamant that this game is coming out this year. And we have only seen literally a teaser trailer with like two characters and like some vague world building.
Right.
But they are adamant. Tales of Arise is dropping this year. I'm like, okay, if you are sure.
See,
And they still have plenty of time to give us information on it. So
here's the thing though. They haven't really been adamant about SMT5 at all. They just dropped that one trailer saying simultaneous worldwide release and then complete silence. I haven't been following Tales of Arise. Have they had complete silence ever since they said it's dropping?
pretty much. Well, until like a few days ago when they dropped another copy of the trailer before saying you're getting news soon.
Right. I don't know. I'm just not saying 2022 to bust David's balls. I still firmly believe it. I want to believe that's coming this year. And I hope Atlas proves me wrong. I hope that I'm wrong, and I hope I owe David a $20 eShop gift card for it too. Because I want the game as much as anyone else. But
I will say if we reach the half point of the year around June and still not a peep, I might start giving up hope.
I think I will too. I think it's fair to give up hope at that point.
Riku, so let's say SMT5 news isn't revealed at the concert. When do you think it'll be revealed?
Ugh, I'm gonna say around maybe April or May because that's when I assume Nocturne would drop, and I don't think they want to drop Nocturne without giving out an update about five.
Could you see like another partner showcase where they show off the game?
Yeah, I could definitely see that, and I've been enjoying the partner showcases. I think, and also look, directs. They're the best way to get a lot of people in. So yeah, partner showcases. Like as much as people hated it that it ended off with SMT, that was the best way to get it because the video has like a couple million views, and that's like almost the most viewed video with well, yeah, with SMT in it. So yeah, I think another partner showcase would be a great idea, and I could see that happening again.
Could you see them possibly, so let's say we don't get this information at the concert. Could you see them dropping their own like special SMT direct, SMT5 partnership direct or whatever that they do with some games? Or would you expect it to just be like jumping in with a bunch of other games? Do you think they pay special attention to this game?
I would like it to be an SMT5 specific direct, but realistically, it probably would just be part of another partner showcase or not even a direct at all because I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It just feels like I'm kind of worried about how it's going to be marketed, just a little bit. But yeah, I don't know if it's going to be like a dedicated direct. I don't know. That's probably just me wishful
Right.
thinking at that point.
To me, the reason I don't think it's going to be at the concert, I've been back and forth on it. I know Atlas tries to like, they revealed Scramble at a concert that they were doing in 2019. So they have a history of doing these things and showing off new games or gameplay at these concerts. But to me, since this is backed by Nintendo, Nintendo is not going to let Atlas show anything that's not a part of one of their specific shows, in my opinion. If it's not going to be a part of Nintendo Direct, they're not going to be able to show it at all, in my opinion.
I can understand that because I think every single SMT trailer, all well, I think there's three of them at this point for this game. Every single one has been on Nintendo's channel as well, or has been part of an event or something. Like the original in 2017, the partner showcase last year, and I think when did the second trailer drop? I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure that was part of Nintendo's Direct as well. I think.
Bao, what do you
So
think
I
about
think
that?
you're right.
Would you say that's a fair assumption that we don't see it at the concert and maybe we see it during a direct soon? What do you think?
Um, I will say if we don't see it at the concert, yes, we'll see it in the rec. But I will say instead of a partner showcase, what they really need to do is highlight it during a regular direct, because those regular directs, not just 2 million, but millions and millions of people watch those, and that is the perfect way to get eyes on SMT5. I don't mean just like a 1 minute trailer. I mean like 4 or 5 minute section in a
Right,
regular direct. Like
right.
really highlight this game.
I would love another direct soon, but it took them so long. I think it was over a year for this new, actual direct, not a partnership showcase or anything, this new direct come out. And
Yeah.
people really had mixed opinions on it. I know I did as well. There wasn't really anything that stood out to me personally. I know it's different strokes for different folks, but still, to me, it's just like I really don't see them doing another regular direct for a while. So to me, it feels like if SMT5 is going to be shown, it's going to be at another partner showcase.
I think what Bao said, yeah, they've done that for I think other RPGs. I think Octopath, and there's something else too. Didn't they do it for Bravely Default as well? Well, that's a first party game, but Octopath was a third party exclusive. So I don't think that's too crazy to think that they could like just focus a 5 minute section of the direct into it.
Right.
And if it wasn't part of the direct, I think it was like an individual video or something. I can't really remember.
So let's stop talking about the release date for the game and let's talk about the game itself, SMT5 itself. So, what improvements would you guys like to see in the game? From Nocturne to SMT4 to we're finally here at SMT5. What improvements do you guys want to see in the game itself?
So for me, like, okay, well, you said from SMT, but I kind of hope they take sort of the what is it, the palace things from not exactly the palaces, but I mean like
Right.
how you can there's so many like movement things you can do, crawl through vents and stuff like that. I hope that, and this is my idea I had at one point, I hope they bring back domains and they're more intricate. And so those are like mini dungeons that have stuff like crawling through like shafts and stuff like that. So basically like all of the movement mechanics from, or all of the good ones from Persona, obviously the new mechanics that they would come up with for this game, and also like the smirks and stuff like that from SMT4 and that kind of stuff.
Bao, what do you want to see in the game?
I think the main thing I want to see is, I guess, quality of life improvements, but a big gameplay thing I want to see is them bring back the defense stat, because I feel like that was a mistake in 4. Um, it was nice for those games, but I feel like we do need it back, because my issue with 4 and 4 Apocalypse is either you're annihilating the enemies or the enemy is annihilating you. There's not really a middle ground, so I feel like that should be fixed. Um, Other than that, not much really. I mean, SMT is kind of good as is to me,
Mm-hmm.
which I can't say about Lost Series. So just focus again on narrative, and just keep doing what they're doing. Although I will say, if this game is taking inspiration from Nocturne, like a lot of people think it's going to, I don't want them to do the "you're like the only person in the world" thing again. I
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
would prefer atmosphere like 2 and 4, but
Right.
that's kind of it.
I wanna say I really enjoyed the world in 4. I said this to a lot of people whenever we have SMT discussions. I love how like 4 was like this huge city full of just like hunters and survivors and all of that, in comparison to Nocturne, which was kind of like a lonely kind of game because I'm just by myself, demons and stuff, and it's not
Yeah.
because of the whole conception thing and stuff like that. I was really a big fan of how they handled it in 4.
So let's say they take the exact gameplay from SMT4 and just instead of the 2D sprites that you, because I do remember SMT4, you're fighting against like 2D sprites. Let's just say they make them 3D sprites. They pretty much copy and pasted the battle system over. You're fighting against 3D sprites, and that's SMT5. What would you guys think about it?
Is it is it still first person 3D sprites, or we're like Nocturne?
Let's say it's like first person 3D sprites.
I would be a little disappointed, but not, I mean, just a little bit, because I really like the battle systems in Nocturne and Persona 5. And I mean, SMT4 was great, but I feel like it was it's first person, it's a 3DS thing, maybe some sort of limitation and stuff like that. I like to see my characters when they fight. So I would, I don't know, I'd definitely be a
So,
little let down, but it's whatever.
so you think it's like almost a must that they do third person point of
A
view?
little bit of a must, not gonna lie.
What about you, Bao? What do you expect? Would you be happy with that, or
Well, we have confirmation it's running Unreal Engine 4, so 3D models like Nocturne should be back. But in the off chance they throw us for a loop and it's like Unreal Engine for the world, and then you're fighting with 2D sprites, I don't know how I feel about that. Because actually, when SMT4 was first released, that's one of the things I didn't like about it, although it grew on me, because it was going from 3D models back to 2D sprites, which you don't see a lot of series do. So I took some getting used to, and I wasn't the biggest fan, but I got over it eventually. But I do think it's time to take the series to a new height visually.
I will say that as someone who hasn't spent a lot of time with SMT4, I'm relatively new to the series. I know that people might take my JRPG card for saying that, but I absolutely love the 3D dungeon crawling in SMT4. I've never been a big fan of first person dungeon crawling, so I really hope that they keep that in the game. I thought. I think that the gameplay, like the dungeon crawling and exploring in SMT4, is a lot of fun. I don't know about y'all, but if they kept that the same, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, the whole dungeon thing, yeah, I'm a big fan of that, but I think it would be only because Nocturne is already 3D. I feel like why would you spend all this time remaking? I mean, you're gonna see them in first person, but like you're remaking these models, you have a cool looking character. I feel like it would be a bit of a step back to go first person again.
Oh, definitely.
It'd be interesting because that's actually the series' roots. Nocturne is kind of the outlier with that because 1, 2, and 4 are all first person dungeon crawlers. So if they really wanted to go back to that, I would still play it. I would still enjoy it. But I do want to have a 3D like SMT on an HD console. Like that's what I want from this.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree.
and I hope that's what we get. But speaking of things that people want, what do you think Atlas and Nintendo can do to ensure that this game sells to casual fans of Persona and other JRPGs? Obviously, the Shin Megami Tensei name doesn't have as much, I'm not going to say it doesn't have any power over here in the West, but it's obviously not as big as when someone mentions Persona. What do you think
Okay,
Atlas and Nintendo can do to ensure that this sells well to everybody?
okay. So you remember when they put Shin Megami Tensei on Persona? What
Yes.
they, what they should do? I'm joking, by the way, but they should put Persona on Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Oh my gosh!
Fans would
Persona
be
Shin Megami
frothing at the
Tensei
mouth.
5.
Oh
Hardcore
my god.
SMT fans would just keel over on the spot.
Bro,
Yeah,
there would
yeah.
be an angry mob of people rushing to Atlas's studio if they did that, man. Imagine Persona presents Shin Megami Tensei 5.
I don't think it's anything. Well, okay, that would be weird, but I don't think it'd be weird to like say like from the creators of people hate that, but like from the creators of Persona, let everybody know that this is the same well, not same team, but same company that made Persona 5. It's gonna still be good, you know. They don't have to name it Persona SMT 5, but I definitely think um they should mention Persona every now and then, you know. Just mention it.
What about you, Bao? How do you think they're going to appeal to casual fans and everything to ensure that this game sells well here in the West?
How will SMT 5?
Yeah, yeah,
How would that appeal to casual?
yeah.
I think well, hmm. They need to make it like approachable. Like, I mean, yeah, they need to focus on. Okay, so I don't think Nocturne is well, it has Merciful now, but I mean, before that, I didn't think Nocturne was the most approachable like SMT game. I think 4 was a lot easier, so I think they should make it more attractive for the new people by like having like newer like mechanics that like help with the new people. So it's not like they're not getting bodied the whole time, you know.
Right.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's mixed bag.
A lot of people say that SMT shouldn't have like an easy difficulty setting. I am in the opposite route of that. If it wasn't for easy difficulty setting, I wouldn't have gotten in Persona 5, which was my catalyst to getting into other JRPGs. I feel like games need to be more approachable in that aspect. To me, if you want it,
Like difficulty options hurt no one but elitists. Like
right?
Yep.
it's like it's fine. Like you'll be fine.
like difficulty up. It's like you could say, oh well, Demon Souls and the Soulsborne series wouldn't be the same without them, but the difficulty is what's causing me to not play it. And you could say, get good all day, but at the end of the day, man, I'm just trying to relax and have a good time and not be too frustrated with a game that I spent my hard-earned money on. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
I think that's a big part of it. Yeah. You don't want people to like write the game off because it's so hard, especially SMT5, which I think it'll be a little underappreciated. I mean, I don't know. I'm hoping it sells a lot. It should sell a lot, but you don't want people to be like scared off from reviews or from impression videos or something like that just because the game is really hard, you know? I mean, Persona is easy to like get into because it's got the anime thing that's popular in the West. SMT doesn't really have that to help it. And so like that along with the fact that well, it's a more straightforward RPG, but along with the fact that it's also a lot harder, an easy mode would definitely help with like getting newbies into it. Because I know a lot of people, this is gonna be their first SMT game. I see it in like I read the comments in every SMT video all the time. And so like I see a ton of people saying like, yeah, this is gonna be my first SMT game. I'm excited. I don't want them to get scared off, you know?
Oh
Because like this
yeah.
is gonna be one of the coolest games ever, you know? I definitely don't want them to be like, I don't know, is this really what SMT is? I don't know if I want to be a part of it, you know?
So we can all agree the easiest way to get casual fans into the series is by making the game not too hard, like say a Nocturne when it first released.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else, guys? Any other thing that you would say that would appeal to casual fans to get them into the series, play more SMT games?
I think a Joker skin.
We're
Well,
gonna go TMS here.
Yeah, yeah.
Rikku pretty much covered my 2 points I was going to bring up with mention Persona and just give you difficulty options. I also think the way this game is marketed should be smart. Because, like, to give you another random example, Final Fantasy VII, back when that first released, if you look at the commercials for that game, they'd never show gameplay. It's always the cutscenes, and that's what they use to draw people in. I think you should do something similar here. Get something from the game, whether it be scenes or I don't know, something that just appeals to the average player that's in the game and highlight that. Like, don't focus on bosses and combos and all that the average person has no interest in. Because a hardcore SMT fan is already going to know that's there and they're already going to buy the game. So just market it smartly and you
So,
should
are
see
you
sales.
saying don't show a bunch of gameplay? Is that what you're saying?
Hmm.
I
I think
know.
that depends how flashy the gameplay is.
Right. Do you guys expect it to be like this huge upgrade from like SMT4 and everything? Do you expect it? Obviously, it's not going. It's going to be hard to top the style of Persona 5 and everything. But could you guys see them going with like a flashier kind of style for this game, or relatively, the same as what we've gotten before from the Shin Megami Tensei series?
I'm
I think it's
gonna
gonna oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I think it's just gonna be slight step up from Nocturne, where like every demon has one or two attack animations, and that's it. You could take stuff straight from Persona, actually, like the crazier attack animations, like Lucifer's ultimate attack. So yeah, you could, but I'm going to keep my expectations in check, and I don't expect like battles to be super, super Persona or Dragon Quest levels of flashy.
I don't think it's gonna be like extremely flashy like Persona 5. I think what's more likely is it's gonna sort of adopt that style that we've seen in the trailer, like or the newest trailer. It's got this sort of like black and sort of oranges kind of motif going on there. I think gameplay wise, it's gonna look like that. I think comparing it to Nocturne, I think that's a pretty fair and safe expectation.
Right. And before we wrap up our SMT talk, we've been talking about SMT for the past over 45 minutes right quick. Before we put a bow on it and move on to a different subject, I want to ask you guys, do you expect anything else from Shin Megami Tensei this year besides, a Nocturne release for the West, SMT5? Do you expect anything like ports or anything? What do you guys think?
I think pretty much all of the PS2 era SMT games. I think that's going to get announced sooner or later, simply because Nocturne is already on the way, or at least Digital Devil Saga 1 and 2. I don't know about Raida.
What about you, Bao?
I would want to see all that, but realistically, the only thing I would expect would be maybe with SMT5 coincide the first actual release of maybe SMT 1 and 2. Because at
Man,
least one, I can't
but
remember two. One
here's the
was
thing,
never
man.
actually brought over here officially.
Oh, yes, it was actually. There is a
Was
iOS
it?
port of Shin Megami Tensei 1.
Oh, I never
Oh
knew
yeah,
that.
yeah. I saw Gnarly's video on that.
Yep, there was technically an iOS port, and there was nothing else done. And you see, what gets me is that Japan, on their Nintendo Switch Online service, have Shin Megami Tensei 1 and 2 available to them right now, while we in the West are stuck with nothing.
That should be pretty easy to bring over, I think.
Here's the thing, though. I don't think that there was ever an official. I could be wrong, and I know David could probably look this up if I was talking to him right now, but I don't think there was ever an official translation for Shin Megami Tensei 2 for English. I'm not 100% certain, but I think Atlas would have to put in some work. The translation for the iOS port, you could just bring that over to, SMT 1 and just release that over here on Nintendo Switch Online. But to me, they would have to put in a lot more work for SMT 2, and I don't think that they would necessarily want to do that, in my opinion.
Which is
I
a
think
shame because I think modern audiences will actually like SMT2 a lot. That's where a lot of the ideas that 4 has actually carry over from.
So, if we were to get Shin Megami Tensei ports this year, what would your guys', first step be? Like, what would you want to see released first?
Digital Devil Sagas 1 and 2, if I had to choose.
That's exactly what I was going to say as well.
yeah,
Devil
same for me.
Survivor behind that.
So
I
we're
mean,
all
those sort of have modern parts, but
so we all agree Digital Devil Saga needs to come over.
Yeah, I
yeah.
think besides Nocturne, though, they play very similar, and I think it's like the same engine too. Whereas Raido's like
Yeah.
action and okay, let me not. I haven't played Raido, so I can't say much. But I can't. Well, okay, let me not say anything about Raido because I'm gonna make people mad. But Digital Devil Saga 2, that's straightforward. Nocturne's already on the way. Same engine, easy.
Well, here's the thing with Nocturne being in Unity and everything, they can easily port over, older PS2 titles and make them look, a little better. Now, the only thing is that are they going to take the time to make sure they run well on systems, which obviously they didn't do that at first for Nocturne Remastered. But I think it would be. I'm not saying porting games is easy, but I know with Unity, that's about as easy as you're going to get to port a game over to a new system.
Yeah, I hope that like with their experience with porting Nocturne, Digital Devil Saga 1 and 2 will get a better treatment.
I really do see that. If anything, by early next year, I really do think we'll see Digital Devil Saga. But moving on from SMT talk right quick, let's just go ahead and talk about this new Nintendo Switch that made the news this past week. So on March 3rd, 2021, Bloomberg reported about a new Nintendo Switch console. It's been rumored for a very long time, and to me, this announcement kind of came out of nowhere. It wasn't from Nintendo themselves, it was Bloomberg who originally reported it. What did you guys think about when you saw it and everything? What was your initial reaction? Because we all knew the rumors, but we didn't. To me, I didn't expect to see this announcement so soon.
I'll say it. The specs of it that we know are so, I guess, not even underwhelming, but so mundane that yeah, this could be real. Like
Right.
when stuff is fake, is always like super super crazy specs for it that realistically would never happen. Like this
Yeah.
sounds believable, so I can easily believe.
I think this was like the worst kept secret ever because like we've been having Switch Pro rumors for years now. This and usually when we have rumors like that stick around this much, it's generally real. And like Bao said, it's pretty believable. I mean, OLED screen, same resolution. I could
So
definitely see it happening.
so let's talk about the specs real quick. 7-inch Samsung OLED screen. It's going to be 720p. Personally, I love OLED screens. I don't know if you guys have played the original Vita model before, but that screen, even at the I think it's 540p that it runs in, looks absolutely stunning. I don't know if you guys have had a lot of experience with the LED screens. What do you guys think about that?
I love OLED screens. I think it's the best way to do screens because I mean, as you guys know, whenever something is black, that part of the screen is actually turned off, and so everything looks really deep. You have extremely deep blacks, and it helps the contrast a lot.
See, I don't think I've ever seen a OLED screen in person, so I really am curious how this looks. Like I always heard people brag about how good the Vita screen looks, but I've never actually gotten to see one like in person.
Oh man, it looks absolutely phenomenal. That is, to me, it's the best way to play Persona 4 Golden, and I know we've had Steam release, but that screen looks so crisp, man. You would not believe how bright the colors, how clear they are. It's like it's in HD, but it's actually 540p.
Yeah, it's like when you on your Switch, if you're like on a loading screen, you can still tell the screen is on, because the whole thing is lit up. It's still black, but it's like lit up. Whereas with like I have an iPhone, and so like I turn it on. If I cover the Apple logo, the screen looks like it's turned off. That's how dark it is,
Right.
because the screen is off at that part. So it's really dope technology. And I really hope the Switch revision does have it. I'm not sure if I'll get it, but I really hope it does because it helps like visual quality a lot, even if the resolution is low.
Now, let's talk about that resolution right quick while we're on that subject. 720p in handheld mode. Do you guys, that's basically going to be the same as the Switch right now that we have. Do you guys think this is a missed opportunity to upgrade to a 1080p screen on the Switch?
See, I heard people say that, but then I saw other people saying that on a screen that small, you wouldn't really be able to tell the difference at 1080p anyways. I don't know how true that is, but
What do you think, Riku?
Um, I'm fine with 720p, only because like I've been using this thing for years now, and games when they're native resolution, they already look like ridiculously sharp,
Mm-hmm.
even for like a 6.2-inch screen. So 720p is fine. I really like when I would hope most games are 720p. I prefer that over it being like 1080p in dock. Like I'd prefer a game to be super sharp in handheld and blurry in dock mode, or than as opposed to like super sharp in dock mode and blurry in handheld because I use handheld a lot. So I really prefer the sharpness there. 720p is perfectly fine.
I didn't know you were such a portable player, Riku. I love the portability of the Switch. I'm always on the go. So having that really good looking screen and everything means the world to me. I don't really play my Switch dock so much. The only time I did, I played 55 hours last year on my Switch, and that's nothing. But I can guarantee you less than a third of that was spent docked.
Yeah, for me it depends on a game. So for something like Smash, I always play docked because I use the Pro controller.
Right.
But for any RPG, I play Dragon Quest 11. I have 100 hours or so in it, and I'm pretty sure that like 70 of those hours were played handheld because I played it like wherever I went. And so yeah, it mainly depends on the game for me.
How
yeah,
important?
same here.
Yeah, I was about to ask how big is portability for you, Bao?
Um, in general, it is pretty big because my main genre of games is JRPGs. I prefer playing them on the go to the point where I bought a almost $1,000 portable PC basically to play my PC games on the go. So yeah, I take my portability pretty seriously. Um, with my Switch though, I play docked when it's something like Smash or Mario Kart,
Mm-hmm.
like a first party Nintendo game that looks beautiful or if I'm playing with a Pro controller. But if I'm playing something like a JRPG or Yu-Gi-Oh, I'll be just laying down playing. And I love the fact that I can just play either or. I
Oh,
just love the Switch like that.
you got Legacy of the Duelist for the Switch, Bao?
Oh yeah,
Oh, bro, you
that's
got
one of my most played games last year.
man. We got a duel sometime, man. I'll take you down with my Blue Eyes
I
deck,
am down. I am
bro.
actually down.
Bro, Riku, you gotta join in on this too, man. You play new Yu-Gi-Oh?
Dude, I am like the furthest away from Yu-Gi-Oh as possible, dude.
Bro, come on, man. It's so much
Yeah.
fun.
I like the card designs. I used to like collect like a couple of them like when I was younger, but they're gone. I just haven't been back ever since. So
Dude. I mean, obviously, I'm not like super into Yu-Gi-Oh. I know the new mechanics and everything. I can work my way around them, but I'm gonna be honest. I don't know like any of the monsters or anything. To me, I just play like the OG, cards. And if there's like newer cards available for the OG, like Blue Eye support, Dark Magician support, I'm obviously a sucker for that. Even GX stuff. But man, we gotta duel sometime, Bao. I'm gonna have to beat you with my Blue Eyes deck.
You'll see.
Oh no, bro. Nah, bro, I'm gonna obliterate you. Anyways, back on the topic of the Nintendo Switch. Let's see if this changes your guys' thoughts about the portability aspect of the Switch. It is going to have 4K output apparently for this new Nintendo Switch. What do you guys think about that? Do you think the games will run in 4K. Obviously, we're going to have upgraded components for the Switch. But do you think it's going to be like a bunch of Switch games are going to be running at 4K, or do you think we're pretty much only going to get exactly the same stuff that we've gotten so far?
I think if it's 4K, it's probably going to be like upscaling. And if it is like actually native 4K, I'd imagine it'd be like an indie game or like some first party Nintendo game. Because if anybody could get anything running at 4K on the Switch, it's the company themselves. Um, yeah, if games are running at 4K on docked or whatever, I I would be playing docked more. Honestly, I'd be playing docked because a lot of the first party games like well yeah a lot of the first party games like Mario Odyssey and Mario Kart, they look really good on the TV, but resolution some well, not Mario Kart, that's fine. Odyssey can sometimes be lacking every now and then. So like that game, a lot of these games that they have running at 4K would really just look amazing because the base assets and all that they already like really good, but just having it at 4K would be perfect.
So
It would look amazing.
you're saying you would play more in dock mode if there was a 4K output setting for this new Switch?
Yeah, definitely.
Bao, what's your thought process on this 4K output for this new Switch?
Realistically, I think they're just going to be upscaling
Yeah,
games.
yeah,
But I think it's probably just going to be a handful of first-party Nintendo games in the future, or third-party stuff as well. That's going to be like native 4K. Like I could see them making Breath of the Wild 2 native 4K and having that as a big selling point for the Switch Pro.
right. So obviously it's going to have upgrade components like we mentioned. Do you think these upgraded components will make the system much more expensive? Do you think it's going to keep around the same price point it is at like $300 right now? What do you guys think about that?
I think
Uh,
uh I think it'll be it's gonna be two things. It'll either be $300 and the base Switch is discounted, or it'll be like 350 to 400. And at that point, it'd be kind of hard to swallow for a lot of people. I think a $400 handheld.
Bat, what do you think about
But
that?
then again, it's just me.
uh, I think a good point would be 350, but I could see Nintendo charging 400. But like Riku said, I think that's when you start getting
Right.
people being hesitant to buy it.
It's like, do I want to buy a Switch or like a new Xbox for the almost the
Right.
exact same price, you know?
Right.
Yo, and
And I
if you
could also,
think about it, go ahead, Beth. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I could actually see them lowering the price of the base Switch by like maybe $50 and then making this the new $300 one.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I can see them doing a lot of things with this.
Yeah, if it was $400, that's the price of a digital, I believe, digital PS5. And so at that point, it's like, I mean, obviously, libraries are completely different market and stuff like that, but it's like
Man,
a handheld versus a whole like console that can do native 4K, 60, and all that stuff. It starts to you start to really wonder about that price at that point.
and let me just say, digital only consoles, hate it.
Yep, same.
I absolutely hate a digital only console. But honestly, I really see them going discounting the base Switch and maybe making this new Pro model the same price as the base Switch as it is right now. I don't know if all these new components and everything are going to add on to the price. Do you guys think that we'll see games run better on this new Switch? Do you just see them running the same? Do you think it's going to be like a game to game basis? Like, let's say like a third party like game like NBA 2K. I know not a lot of people play it, but it doesn't look the best on Switch, especially in dock mode and everything. Could you see the game like running better, looking better on the Switch Pro natively, or do you think that would be up to the developers to make it run better?
I think it'll be like the PS4 Pro, where you see just games running slightly better, but not like a world of difference.
Yeah, I think it'll be just to like stabilize performance in a lot of games.
Do you
And
think do you think it would be
yeah,
enough to
yeah.
see like a nocturne, it chugs during like first during the turn-based combat and moving some on the map? Do you think that would be enough, this new Switch Pro, as they're calling it, to rectify those issues, or do you think we'll get the same performance?
I don't think so because I believe the PS4 has those issues too, to some extent, right?
Right, right.
Yeah, so I think that's just down to the programming or whatever's going on with Unity in that game. I don't think a Switch Pro or Switch Plus or whatever is gonna fix that.
do you guys think that we'll see Switch Pro only games like on the new Nintendo 3DS and 2DS systems, like we did
I
with
hope not.
Xenoblade?
I hope not.
I really hope
Yeah,
not.
I mean, the way I see it, like Switch has sold 80 million, and we already know that pro versions of consoles based on the PS4 and Xbox, they don't sell nearly as much as the original consoles. People want to get the cheaper one, and with the Pro at this point, the original Switch would be cheaper and it can still dock, unlike the Switch Lite. But they'd really be cutting down their potential install base for sales for games and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know how much it would sell. I mean, maybe a lot of people go out and get it, but me personally, well, I don't want to say that yet. But they're severely limiting. You have 80 million Switches out there. That's a lot of people who wouldn't be able to buy your new game. I mean, as long as it's like not first party, I think that'd be shooting themselves in the foot. Third party maybe can kind of slip through if they don't want to make a lot of money. But I mean, first party, that'd be a disaster.
Yeah, I think it'd be a mistake.
So you guys are saying no pro only games. Just if you do get a pro, just make the game run better. Maybe 4K upscaling, but no pro games whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we don't want the
no pro
debacle
games,
like.
please.
Because if I'm not mistaken, I know you guys are big Xenoblade fans. I've not really played the series before, but there was a new Nintendo 3DS only game for that system, for that series, correct?
Yeah, for the 3D version. Yep.
And how did that sell?
I'm not sure, but they missed out on a lot of well, I don't want to say they missed out because it couldn't run on the original 3DS, but I definitely think that if they could have figured out a way, or just not, I don't know.
I heard it
just
chugged
looked it
either
up
way
out
on
of
this new system.
curiosity.
How much did it sell?
Almost half of the original.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
Now, if the Switch Pro came out and like they do the same thing for Xenoblade X, I'd be disappointed. I would really be disappointed
But
because that's the main game I want to play, Xenoblade X right now. And if they made it, I'm not buying a Switch Pro for the game. I wouldn't. So,
I was about to ask you that. Would that be your selling point to get the system?
yeah, no, it's not enough. It's not enough, unfortunately. But if they do bring, I mean, they know Xenoblade 2 sold almost 2 million at this point, I think. I don't think they want to cut down their potential sales even lower by just releasing it on the Switch Pro.
So that brings me to the last question that I have about the new Switch Pro. Will you guys be upgrading to it? And if so, are you going to keep your original Switch and have this one?
I thought about it, but after thinking like for a while, I'm like, I'm only really playing some of the first party games and then like the third party exclusives. I'm not playing like the third party games like Doom or Wolfenstein that look really greasy on the Switch. So for me personally, I'm okay with my normal Switch right now. Plus, I don't want to. I'm about to get a PS5. I don't really. If I want really great graphics, I'll just play on my PS5.
Right.
You know, like for the
me,
multiplayer, yeah.
I actually would, but I have a very specific reason. I want another Switch, but I'll use it to replace my original one and use my original one to mod smash.
Right. Because I know the original ones are big and like with the hacking community and everything, and that was one of the reasons why I said, would you keep your original system if you did upgrade? Because I definitely would keep my other Switch. My girlfriend has 2 Switches, and I got on to her this past year about it. I'm like, why do you need 2 Switches and everything? She's like, I need 2 islands in Animal Crossing, and I need all this Pokemon stuff. I'm like, I don't see the point in it. And now that she actually has it, I'm like, oh, okay, I could see where that could be beneficial. She has a handheld only one and one that she can put on her TV at all times and have different save files and everything. I see positives about having 2 Switches now. To me, if I'm upgrading, I'm keeping my original Switch.
Yeah, if I upgraded, I would keep mine too because I have the original 2017 model before they like refreshed it or whatever they did to it to keep that like exploit with the what is that, the side railing from happening.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely keep my original for that because those Smash mods are insane and they come out so quick.
I can see where
I'm
those
itching to play some of them.
I can see where those original models can be worth some money sometime in the future as well. What do you
Oh
think,
yeah,
Val?
yeah.
Mhm. Oh, definitely. I don't have too much experience like in the past with a system that did it, so I don't like have a benchmark for how much they could sell for. But yeah, I could definitely see that. But yeah, I've already considered buying a second Switch just to mod Smash. So if this comes out, then I have the perfect excuse to do that, and it's more powerful anyway. So
So
win-win.
Riku, so you say you are not going to get the new Switch. What would
Probably not. I mean,
what would make you get it? What would be a feature that you would go, "Oh my god, I need to get that right now."
okay, so it would have to be something crazy. Like less the feature and more like if they okay, there's one game or one series that would make me go out and get a Switch Pro, which would have to be like some sort of like exclusive Fantasy Star Portable 3 or some crap like that. If they came out with something like that, I'd have no choice but to get a Switch Pro. But as far as like features, like I can't really like imagine what like cuz like themes and like, like the whole like social network thing that PlayStation has, that's not really enough because I mean, it's whatever. I don't really care about it that much. But like if they had like one exclusive game and it had to be Fantasy Star, that make me go out and get it at that point. So
All right, so we're off the topic of Nintendo Switch right now. Let's just go ahead and get into this last topic. I promise you all guys that we would talk about a little bit of Persona, and it wouldn't be a King Narukami podcast or video without me talking a little bit about the series. So let's go ahead and talk about Persona's 25th anniversary right quick, guys. First off, I want to start off with Persona 5 Strikers released this year in the West. What do you guys think about the game so far without spoiling it?
I think it is really good. It's just like I think it's a really good Persona 5 sequel because like gameplay wise, well, when I say gameplay, I mean like in the real world, it's just like Persona 5. The menus are the same. It's obviously got that same spirit. But when you're fighting, it's completely different. It's action game. It's basically just an action Persona 5, and I'm a really big fan of it.
Pat, what
And the
are your
music's great too.
impressions of the game so far?
See, I'm obviously a big Persona fan, but I'm also a huge Muso fan or Dynasty Warriors, which the gameplay is based off of. And you would think with this combination, this would be like a dream project of mine, but I just like the game. I don't love it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of bizarre to me because I'm playing it and I'm like, I should love this. And I just like it. And the reason for that, I guess, is that this is just very different from other Muso games in terms of not just mechanics, because obviously you have mechanics inspired by Persona, but just in the type, how to say, just in the flow of gameplay, I guess. Because like in other Muso games, you just kill hordes of enemies, but in this, you actually fight more smaller hordes of enemies, and if you just hack and slash, you're probably going to die.
Right.
So it's very unique. I'll give it that.
Those
It almost
enemies can be unforgiving at times, especially with keeping SP up and everything, exploiting their
yeah.
weaknesses. It's not.
I
It's
hate SP management in this game. I really do.
It gets
Yeah,
easier
me too.
as you get into other jails. Honestly, I'm in like the fourth one right now, and to me, it's a little easier because you can like upgrade your bonds in that system to like regain SP after every battle and stuff. To me, it's a lot easier, especially when I found out that you can press square, square, triangle your original combo, and your persona will actually do like a special skill move without having SP calls. Once I figured that out, I kind of went crazy on that, but to me at first the SP management was really tough, and it's definitely not like one of those Muso games, Dynasty Warriors, or even Attack on Titan, where you're just slaying hordes of enemies the entire time. So is that what's missing for you, Bao? Do you think that's the only thing missing for the game?
I guess. Also, the roster itself is just really short, but obviously you can make a bigger roster because this is story based. But I'm used to Musa games with like upwards of 50 to 100, 200 characters in it. So
So let's say they brought in the cast, like some of the past casts for like Persona 4, 3 for this game.
Oh,
that would be
yo,
awesome.
I'd be so down for
Like,
that
even if
too.
they're only regulated to like a side mode and not the story, I'd be fine with that.
Right. So it's like so you couldn't play as them in the story mode, but you can like go online with your friends and like play as the other cast members and everything from the other games. That's You'd be
hmm
okay with that, and it would make the game better for you.
Yeah, I think online would be pretty good as well. Because actually, this is one of the first Musa games in memory that doesn't have multiplayer.
I don't think a lot of people have talked about that either. I'm not a big multiplayer guy, but I think they really missed out on the opportunity to not play this game online with your friends. I don't think that's talked about enough either. What do you guys think? Would you have played this game online with some friends and everything? Do you think they missed out on an opportunity here?
I think
I
this would be
think
a
it'd
great
be
co-op game, actually.
yeah.
What was that about? I didn't catch that.
I said I think this would be a great co-op game, actually. I don't think like the difficulty or anything would be too diminished by having another player on screen or anything.
Oh, I don't think so either. I think they really missed an opportunity, especially like I don't know if you guys have played the Attack on Titan Koei Tecmo games. Have you guys had any
Always
I
wanted
haven't.
to, but I have not.
Riku?
Oh, I haven't either.
Okay, so you can. There's actually online multiplayer with that game, and slaying titans with your friends is so much fun. To me, it's better than just mindlessly killing them by yourself in the single player campaign. But I really think that Atlas missed an opportunity, and honestly, I think there is a sequel coming to Strikers. I think we all see that coming, at least in my opinion. And I think they would almost be stupid not to include like some sort of multiplayer team, or at least having a bigger roster of characters available. What do you guys think about that? What would be your ideal Persona 5 Strikers 2 game?
Well, I
I
think
would
we
have
just
to.
need to go full-blown SMT Muso.
Yeah, that'd be great. I have to beat Persona 5 Strikers first to begin with. But yeah, multiplayer, that'd be great. I'm actually surprised the original doesn't have it because I'm a Muso fan too, and everyone I've played has had either online or local co-op, even like the Empires games.
Mhm.
So I mean, yeah.
Do you guys see a Strikers 2 happening?
Um,
I don't know how Strikers ended.
well, I think just with how they're doing this, with it being super, super story-based, probably not another one like this, but I could see another game that's just, I don't want to say, well, a non-canon game. Let's go with
Right,
that. A
right.
non-canon game. I can see them doing that, but not
Speak
like another
right.
Persona 5 full-on adventure.
So, like we said, it is Persona's 25th anniversary, and speaking of, new games and everything, what do you think Atlas has in store for us? Obviously, this is a big year for the Persona franchise. Uh, there wasn't really a lot for Shin Megami Tensei's 25th anniversary, am I correct? They didn't really do much for that. Did I lose y'all?
Your voice like cut out like in the middle of the sentence.
Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. It must be the
There you go.
internet. It must be
There
the
you go.
internet. But they didn't do much for SMT's 25th anniversary, correct?
All right.
Yeah.
So, what do you think Atlas has in store for us this year? Do you think do you see ports happening? Do you see any big projects? Obviously, they're teasing a big project for Persona. Do you guys think we should keep our expectations low? What do you guys expect?
I
I'm
do
gonna keep my
think.
expectations. Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead. No, you're good.
I'm,
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna, okay, I'm gonna keep my expectations low just so I don't get like disappointed by anything. But I think something safe to expect would be like at least like console ports of Persona 4. Maybe they announce a Persona 3 port or something as well, and possibly well maybe it's too early for a tease for Persona 6, but I mean I don't think it's crazy to expect that.
What do you think, Val? What do you think we can expect this year?
I also think we should keep our expectations in check, not just because COVID, but also just because some companies just don't go all out like that for anniversaries. Like even Nintendo is not doing much for Zelda. And this is what 30-year anniversary this year,
Well,
something like that.
they're not doing too much for Mario either. I mean,
True.
announce like another. I mean, they're killing off Mario at the end of March. So
Oh, this is true. This is true.
I mean,
But
they're doing the same thing with Fire Emblem as well. They're killing that off at the end of the month too.
yeah, in terms of what we can expect, I'm not expecting much. I would want a new SMT side project though.
But what do you expect from Persona? Any new Persona projects at all?
I could see a Persona project. I'm not sure what, cause maybe I don't know. Maybe we're getting Persona 5 kart racing finally. I don't know.
That was actually
We've
one of my
exhausted all
points.
the genres already. Let's
Yeah,
go kart racing.
that was one of my points. Do you think they're done with Persona 5 after, Scramble had such a success, in Japan? It was the best-selling spin-off Persona game. do you think they're done with Persona 5? Do you think they're going to keep on milking it till it's dry? What do you guys think?
I'd be really surprised if Strikers was the last we saw of Persona 5. Um, I'm surprised we haven't gotten Persona 5 Arena yet. I mean, I'm just saying stuff that Persona 4 got, but I mean, fighting games, bro, like that'd be perfect. You know, bring in a Persona 4 cast, Persona 5 cast, and you got a brand new fighting game.
I honestly think Scramble was our Persona 5 Arena. I really don't think.
That's a fair assessment.
I
That is
really-
really
I don't,
fair.
I don't think we're done milking Persona 5 until 6 is out. Like, honestly.
So,
Because this game sold crazy. So yeah, I think we're gonna still see a couple more games come out from it.
what would your ideal spin-off be?
That's a good question.
It could be way out there too. I'm leaving this open. Like you can do anything. You could say Persona 5 like I don't know, tennis or something. A sports related game. What would be your ideal Persona 5 spin-off game?
All right, so I'm looking through my Steam library right now, and I think I would like to see a Persona MMO game. I think.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah.
Wait,
I think that'd be interesting.
Didn't they kind of try that with like a SMT at one point? Or am I just
Did they?
did they try to
MMO?
I don't know. I could have sworn
Oh,
that
SMT MMO? Yeah. I was actually one of the beta testers for it.
What was it called?
SMT 9. No, it was either 9 or Imagine, one of those.
I think it might have been Imagine.
I gotta look this up now.
Hold up.
It exists, and I think people still play on private service.
I thought that they shut the servers down for that.
Yeah, the official ones, and people have their own.
Ah, gotcha.
Okay.
SMT.
Shin Megami Tensei Imagine.
Yep.
Okay.
There it is. MMORPG. Yep.
Interesting.
Released in Japan April 4th, 2007, and America December 31st, 2000. Wow, that was a whole year afterwards. Wow. In America December 31st, 2008. So would you like to see something like that, Bal?
Like I'm trying to rack my brain. I don't know what my number one pick would be. On, I guess I could see a Persona MMO working, but I don't know.
JRPGs are they're my favorite genre pretty much, and so like, I mean that's Persona already. They already did an action game. They did dancing and stuff. It's kind of like I'm running out of genres at this point.
So would you rather see like a full-on Persona 5 JRPG sequel instead before Persona 6 if they had to do another Persona game, a spin-off game or whatever?
I would say yes,
Persona.
but do something unique with it.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I hate to say this. Everyone knows how much of a simp I am for the dancing games. I would really like Atlas to give Persona 5 Dancing 2 a try because the first dancing game was so half-assed because they were producing at the same time as Persona 3 Dancing. I would love to see what they could do with putting, full... Now that we actually have, Royal, we have the anime out, we have Scramble out, and the Persona 5 Dancing soundtrack was very, it didn't have a lot of variety in it. So I would like to see Atlas at least try that one more time. That would be my preferred spinoff. I don't know about you guys. What do you guys think?
I'm down with that as long as we get as long as like the music is fire, like it generally always is.
And let's be for real, the Persona 5 Dancing soundtrack wasn't that great. It didn't have many memorable songs in it, in my opinion.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Are you guys big fans of the dancing games at all?
I think I appreciate them like as a dancer myself, but I'm not someone that would buy them like day one.
Right.
I like them, but I'm not like a hardcore fan.
I mean,
I like the idea, but I'm not really gonna like go out and get it day one or like month one. It'd probably be something I just get when I'm bored, maybe down the line.
how long before we have a SMT dancing spinoff where you see like Jack Frost or somebody just dancing to like a remix
Battle
of like
B2 or
yes, dude, Demi Fiend just dancing in the middle of like hell or something to like a remix of a Nocturne song.
That'll come out in 2022. The
Bro.
SMT dancing game.
This is why SMT 5 got delayed.
That's my fault, bro. That's my fault.
Bro, we actually heard it here. SMT 5 2022. We've all agreed. I told you I would make you guys believers before the end of this podcast.
Oh my god.
All right,
Dude,
King.
David is rolling in his grave right now just hearing all this, I'm sure, by the time he hears this. Anyways, let's just go ahead and put a bow on this right quick. Any final thoughts about SMT or anything else in 2021? What you can expect? What you guys are most excited for? Any final thoughts?
I just want to say that my hype levels for this game has never went down. I'm really extremely excited. I've had two dreams about that this game got released or got a new trailer, and I'm just like, bruh, I can't believe this game is actually happening. And I played SMT4 like a lot, and what I'm most excited about is just seeing how it takes that formula and just like what I'm seeing this as is like SMT4, but it doesn't look like Persona, but the graphic fidelity, the sort of the scope of the game is just a lot bigger this time. It should be. That's what I'm most excited about, and the music, of course.
Gotcha. And then you have me, this asshole on Twitter that's crushing your dreams of playing it this year, trying to crush your dreams.
Man. I'm really trying to will this into existence. I'm really, really trying.
What about you, Bao? Any final thoughts on the series? Anything that you're looking forward to the most?
SMT5, still my most anticipated game of the year. Yes, this year, 2021. And I'm just happy the SMT series is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to see more side games like back in the PS2 era, because that was my favorite era SMT, because there's just so many different types of games to experience and all that. But series is still alive and well. New fans are going to be coming in with the release of Nocturne 5, so that makes me happy. And I just want this game to be the best it can be.
I honestly think SMT has a bright future ahead of us. A bright future ahead of it. Honestly, I think this is going to be a big year for the series if SMT5 releases this year.
Yeah, I think this will be like the big moment of this. Well, it's already had big moments before, but this is going to be like the breakout moment, like how Persona 5 was for Persona series. And so was Persona 4, but Persona 5 was like on a completely different level. I think SMT5 has that potential as well.
I think so as well. And thank you guys so much for coming on to the show. I really enjoyed talking to y'all. We had a really good conversation, but it's been about an hour and a half right here. I want to thank you guys so much for coming on, Bao. Rikku, thank you so much for coming.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for the invite.
Oh, of course, anytime, man. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens this year. And I'm really looking forward to coming back with this podcast. I'm going to try to make this a monthly thing for you guys. Episode 3's tentatively coming next month during my birthday month. I'm not sure what the topic's going to be about, but we're going to have some fun with it. And hopefully by then we'll have some Nocturne news. I can't really guarantee you that we're going to have any SMT5 news, but maybe we'll have that to talk about next month. But I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for joining episode 2 of the King's Game podcast. We'll see you guys later. King.
Later.
Out. See ya.